Hey everyone, this is Chelsea and welcome back to another Creative Design Team video. This month we are talking all about back to school and sharing back to school projects. Since my little one isn't even close to school age yet, I wanted to show you a really neat idea for a teacher gift. But before we jump into today's project, I wanted to share with you that the Creative Design Team is doing our first ever event. It's called 31 Days of Christmas Cards, and we will be posting a new video every day in October, showing you all kinds of ideas and inspiration for Christmas cards. This will be hosted in a private Facebook group, and the early bird pricing ends tomorrow, September 20th, so make sure you jump on that right away. I will have everything linked down in the description box for you, and I hope to see you there. Now back into today's project. So I am working with the Smarty Pants collection. This is from the annual catalog, so it's going to be available all year, which is fabulous. It's a great time to catch up on all that school scrapbooking from your kids. It has lots of really great neutral patterns that are awesome for any age of child, but also you could use them for a lot of other things too. I thought this collection would be perfect for a teacher gift, and so I'm going to be making what I'm calling a mini folio gift card holder. I'm using the new Close to My Heart solid black cardstock. This does not have a white core, and it's a really nice, heavy, sturdy black paper, perfect for any kind of scoring or folded projects. This is a 5-inch by 12-inch piece, and I am scoring along the 12-inch side at 4 inches and 8 1/8 inch. I'm using these border tab thin cuts to die cut both ends and create that folio or folder look. These were part of a special, but they're actually still on my website, so I will link them down below. I'm using my bone folder to just reinforce those score marks really well. And now I'm going to use some washi tape to attach the dies where I want them so they're not slipping around while I'm die cutting. You can see here that I have this one up a little ways from the bottom. Now you just need to be careful that you don't go too far because otherwise it won't fit on your plate. It could bend or get snagged on your machine. Now you could put it through the other direction so that the length is not a problem, but then I find you get imprints in your other layers of cardstock from the die, so I prefer to do it this way. You can see there I did finish off cutting all the way with my scissors, which works just fine. This one here I want at a different level than the other one, so this one the die is actually going to cut right through. It's more centered. Now here is my finished little folio. I love how that turned out. And now we're going to start decorating it. So I have these pieces of the composition pattern paper. The two pieces that go on either end measure 3 1/4 by 4 3/4, and then the slightly larger panel that goes in the center is 3 7/8 by 4 3/4. This strip of rainbow paper is 1 inch by 6 inches, and I'm just using my corner rounder to round the corners. This is the piece that is going to hold our little booklet closed. I'm just figuring out where I want that little flap to go and how far I want it to stretch over the cover. Even after I attached it, I ended up trimming it a little bit shorter because it was a little bit too long for my liking. On the part of this flap that's getting attached to the back of the card, I'm using the super sticky adhesive tape just because I want to make sure it's not going to fall off and it's not going to move on me. This strip will be covered on the back by the pattern paper, so don't need to worry about it showing. And then I'm just going to attach all my panels of pattern paper with my regular ATG adhesive. I'm trying to center each piece of pattern paper on the panel just so that I have an even small black border around the outsides. Now remember, even though we're making this as a teacher gift, you could use this same pattern and make it for any type of occasion, birthday, Christmas. It's always a great time to give a gift card. When you're attaching this last piece, just make sure you slide it under that striped piece so that we don't lose the functionality of the closure. I almost forgot when I was putting this together, so I just thought I'd mention that. So now we're going to go on to decorating the front cover. I have a circle of the peach pattern paper, a white stitch circle, and then also the teacher's going to teach computer image, which is cut from the pattern paper. I'm also building the little piece that is going to hold the flap and keep this closed. So the black cardstock I'm using is a 1/2 inch by 2 inches, and then the cork pattern paper on top is 3/8 of an inch by 1 7/8 of an inch. I'm using that same adhesive tape on either end of this little strip. I need something really strong to hold it, and I just need to make sure that it's going to be narrow enough so that it doesn't touch the little striped piece that needs to go in and out. And there we go. You can see that just gets stuck down to the front, and then that strip can just go back and forth to open and close it very easily. Now I'm sticking these other layers together for the front just with regular adhesive. I could pop them up and make this more dimensional, but I thought I would leave these two flat, and then I'm going to use foam tape on the little computer to give it some dimension. I'm going to finish off the front with these white acrylic hearts. I'm just using glue dots to attach them. And if you want some extra bling, you could add some stickles on top or some liquid pearls, just for an extra shine. I'm going to move on to the inside of our little folio. I have this rainbow striped notebook paper, and those measure 3 1/4 by 4 3/4 for both ends. And the middle panel is 3 7/8 by 4 3/4. And then I also have the cork paper, which is 1 1/2 inches high, and then the same measurements in width. So 3 1/4 for the ends and 3 7/8 for the middle part. And then the little alphabet strip is the zip strip or branding strip from one of the sheets of paper, and it is a 1/2 inch by the same width measurements, so 3 1/4 or 3 7/8. For that first panel, you can see I stuck everything down with adhesive, but this middle panel is going to be where I'm going to put the gift card. So I'm going to make a pocket. I'm using my gift card to just figure out where I need to put my adhesive, and I'm actually going to use liquid glue because it's quite a narrow margin of where I want to put my adhesive, and that way I don't have to worry about taking tape in too far. You also want to make sure that you don't use a really thick bead of glue, because then it will ooze too far and there won't be enough room for your gift card once you get it all stuck down. I wanted to add a sentiment on the inside, so I'm using this set Rustic Sign Sentiments, and I'm using the thank you. They're separate words, and I just put them together on a block, and I stamped them using black Archival ink. Now I'm going to put together this last panel, but I wanted to show you that you could add more gift cards to this if you wanted to. You would just have to put them vertically. You could also create these side panels with pockets so that you could put in a note from your child to their teacher. It actually would work really good considering I use lined paper, that you could get them to write their note right on the lined pattern paper before you stuck it all down. I went ahead and adhered all these panels on the inside of this gift card holder, doing the same thing as I did on the outside, just leaving a thin black border. And now, because I'm not writing a note on this side, I wanted to embellish it with some of the pieces from the pattern paper. So I actually fussy cut out these images from that hero piece of pattern paper, just leaving a white border around the edges. I wanted to keep everything pretty flat on the inside of this folio, just because there's not a lot of extra space. So I'm adhering everything down with no pop dots, no foam tape. The only thing that adds a little bit of dimension is the gift card itself. If you are not crazy about fussy cutting, there are some great solutions. There is a coordinating stamp and die set with this paper pack, which I'm going to show you in a little bit. And there's also a really great sticker sheet. I just didn't happen to have the sticker sheet, so that's why all of my images are cut out from the pattern paper. These words were also part of the pattern paper, and I just cut them into strips so that they would fit on that far left panel around my little coffee cup with the hearts coming out of it. There are so many different ways you could decorate the inside of this folio. It's a great place where you could let your kids help out and decorate, write notes, maybe even add in some of their own artwork. There's lots of flexibility for different things that you could do here. My project is almost finished once I get these pieces stuck down. I just wanted to add some words on the little file tabs. It was bugging me that they were blank. So I'm using this Smarty Pants stamp set. This is the one that coordinates with the collection, and it has a couple of words on it. There's bravo and there's wow. So I'm going to use white pigment ink to stamp the different words onto the little tabs. I always like to test out my stamps first and make sure they're going to give me a good impression, especially when your stamping is the last step on a finished project. This is not the time to risk it and mess everything up. Pigment ink will take a little bit of time to dry, so just leave it open on your table until it's fully set. And that's our project. I hope you enjoyed this idea of making a little folio as a gift card holder, and I hope you'll check out the rest of the creative design team's videos. Julie is up tomorrow with a wonderful project for you, and I will link everyone's channels down in the description box. Thanks so much for watching.